So in this exact example that you can see in front of you, we're contacting a software company. They have a high percentage of traffic outside of North America, which is great for Paddle because we help them sell internationally. We asked them whether they've considered supporting currencies directly related to the highest traffic regions outside of the ones that they support right now. And we asked them whether they want to support some currencies that they don't today. We even predict the dollar impact supporting those additional currencies would have for them based on their size and traffic, etc. It's a really great example of how you can apply this data that we've gathered to deliver a hyper relevant message. Basically, the person you're contacting will be on the other end of this message, and they'll have thought that you've done hours of research into their customer demographic, which currencies they support, the size of their business, and you've contacted them at a really great time because this is surely something front of mind based on all of this traffic they're getting outside of North America. But in reality, we can compute a message like this without having done any research at all, using all the data that we gathered as a part of what Alex was talking about earlier. And I think he could probably explain as to how we actually start to use some of these custom fields within Outreach in order to deliver messages like this.
Yeah. So computing this kind of message is unfortunately no piece of cake. And I just want to kind of give you a flavor of how to even approach it. So this is where tools like Whole Processor that Tim introduced just a second ago become almost necessary. So here we have 3 data points that we had to compute in order to create this message. So first of all, we have the percentage traffic outside of North America. So what we're actually going to be doing here is we're going to look at the total count of visitors globally. And we're going to take a sum of the visitors directly from US and Canada, subtract that from the total count and divide it to arrive at this number. Just a little bit of maths just to arrive at this data point because no one is supplying this data point right now. So we had to compute this data point ourselves. The next one is top currencies. And I believe this is really at the heart of the hyper relevance. This is where it looks like we've done research. We spend time, whereas in fact, we just computing this message. So what we're doing here is we identifying top 3 or top 5 countries where the traffic is coming from. So where the most traffic is coming from. And then we converting those countries into currencies. Now, if we were just stopping at that, what will happen is we will be sending out a message telling them to that they should try the currencies that they might be already using. So the next step that we had to do is essentially look at the website directly and try to determine whether they're using any of those currencies and take them out. So we're looking at 2 data points here, what traffic they're getting, what countries they're getting the traffic from, as well as what currencies they're using currently. So we don't go in and propose them with currencies that they're already using.
Or maybe just to add to that, Alex, people might think hyperrelevancy is emailing an account telling them they should support a bunch of currencies based on their traffic, but that's not hyperrelevancy. Hyperrelevancy is doing that, but then only listing the currencies which we know that they don't support today, because we've all received an email about something that we should be doing, but maybe we already do it, or maybe we've already got a competitor that's doing that thing for us or whatever. So this is how you're using data points not only to work out who's the best fit for you right now, but also deliver the hyperrelevancy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, this is the really cool part for me. Well, my life is in data and I love data and I think it's really cool. But this is where the data and all that work that you've put in where it gets used. And I don't get to do this very often, but when I see it, I think it's awesome. So there's all kinds of things, obviously that you're calculating and transforming to get to this point. We've seen people talk about, doing dynamic images even. And I think one of the interesting things here that I think about a lot is where you're putting a call to action in like this link, and you're doing all this work to get this really good email. One of the things that we're able to do that's pretty cool is when you click that link, not only can you track the people that click that link and the email that you're able to open, but when you go to the landing page, you're actually able to tie all of his page visits from previous visits to his profile, to this email. And now that single customer profile gets enriched with everything that he was doing when he was an anonymous user. And you get to get even more hyper personalized the second you've tied that all together.